Hello everyone, welcome to Forensic Science Academy, Science for Justice. Today we will be discussing Introduction to Forensic Science, Class 1. So first of all, what is forensic science? The forensic science term was derived from forensics and sciences, which means usually, in ancient times, as you can see here, in ancient times, the discussions or the examinations for any sort of cases, they might be, they were conducted in public. So, as for that, the people who were present, the people who were victims, they have to get the justice in front of the public. So, actually, it is a forensic. The term is derived from forensics. So, what is the actual broadly defined definition of forensic science? So, as you can see here, is a forensic science can be more broadly defined as a scientific discipline. It is a scientific discipline which is directed to recognition of, identification, individualization, and evaluation of the evidences. Okay, so forensic science is defined as a scientific discipline. That means here you have to use some sort of scientific knowledge which is directed to the recognition of. So if you are finding something, for example, suppose you are finding some a particle or a object, you have to know what is it. So for that you have to recognize it, then you have to identify it. So you have found something, so whether a is a or not, you have to find it. Then you have to individualize it. So there, for example, there is a car which you have found at a crime scene, and a car manufacturer company, what they will do is they will manufacture the same model cars in various numbers, in quantities we can say. So what you have to do is, for each and every car there might be some sort of individualization which was given by the manufacturer. Okay, so what it might be an engine number or a chassis number. So you have to particularly individualize the uh, evidence, and after individualization you have to evaluate the evidence. uh, how you can you're gonna recognize, identify, or we can say individualize the things is, certainly you will be using some sort of principles or some sort of scientific methods. Why we are doing all these things? For the purpose of justice, or for the purpose of solution of a case. So we'll go through here once again. So forensic science can be broadly defined as a scientific discipline which is directed to the recognition, identification, and individualization and evaluation of physical evidences by the application of principles and scientific methods for the purpose of administration of criminal justice. So then, coming back to the history, 2300 years ago, we can say at the times of 2300, sorry, a detailed reference was found in Kautilya's Arthashastra. As you can see here, you can find a detailed. We have founded some sort of references according to the forensic science, which is the patterns of papillary lines which were preserved, during that times. We can say that this is a good what we say uh, good preservance. How even during those times they don't have the knowledge of the fingerprints. Even then, they thought the papillary lines might be unique to each and every one, hence they have preserved them. So then we can see here Mr. K.M. Kata. He was a frequent contributor to the Nature, stated that the Chinese records proved the use of fingerprints in ancient kingdom, and you know he's the one who stated that the China, the records of fingerprints were usually found in China, and even in southern Indian part. So we Indians, known for a long over 100 fingerprints, we used to follow this method called as Tarija. Now Tarija is a method where if someone has to lend some sort of money, if someone has to do some sort of transactions with them, they will be documented with their palm prints or fingerprints. So that is known as Tarija. Then use of fingerprint signature for illiterate people were introduced years later only. Then also the first written account of using medicine and entomology to solve criminal cases attributed to the book of San Yin Lu, Washing Away of Wrongs, written by Songzi in 1248 during Song Dynasty. So Songzi, he's the one who regulated the autopsy report in court. He was the one to describe about the autopsies that need to be bring to the courts for the justice. So how what he did, how to protect evidences in examining process. He contributed to the forensic science in such a way that we have we today we are able to protect the evidences for the examining process. And he also showed the examination to the public impartiality, and he also concluded the methods on the following, such as how to make an antiseptic, how to calculate the depth of time, how to wash a dead body for examining the different reasons of death, then methods to distinguish between a suicide and a pretended suicide. Then various developments were done in forensic science by various peoples. Uh, and here are the most popular and the most we can say helpful persons who have contributed to the forensic science. The first one is Matthew Orfila, and 1757 to 1853. He is considered to be the father of forensic toxicology. So he is the father of toxicology. He did the studies on the effect of poisons on animals and also the detection of them. Like he is the person who conducted the various studies on the effects of poisons on animals. So usually he studied and observed the effects of poisons on animals, and from there his observations he have brought down to the field of forensic science, and this is the initiative which was held for the establishment of forensic toxicology. Then we have Alphonse Bertillon from the time period 1813 to 1914. So basically he is a French police. He devised the scientific system of personal identification. He started to develop a scientific anthropometry, which is a systematic procedure of taking series of body measurements as a means of differentiating one individual from other. So technically we can say he like identified a system for the identification purpose. So using the body measurements, anthropometric measurements, he developed a certain system to identify the each and every individual. That is known as Bertillon's personal identification system. This has been later replaced by the fingerprints. Uh, he is considered as a father of criminal investigation through the criminal identification with anthropological knowledge. Then we have Francis Galton from the time period of 1822 to 1911. He is the person who developed the method of classification of fingerprints. He is responsible for present system of identification by the fingerprints. Even today, it is followed. So, his Sir Francis Galton was a person who actually developed the classification of fingerprints. Like he classified the types of fingerprints. Then he narrowed them how to identify the individuals using the fingerprints. As the fingerprints are very unique to each and everyone, so he utilized that knowledge to the forensic science, and he has given, hence he has been father of fingerprints. Then we have Hans Gross from 1847 to 1915. He was the first to utilize various techniques in the field of scientific criminal investigations. Then we have Sir Edmund Loper from 1877 to 1966. He was the first to deliver the concept of exchange of particles. So here we have the principle of exchange, where Sir Leopold Edmund states that whenever there is a contact, whenever there is some interaction between some sort of particles, there will be and there should be exchange of matter between them. So based upon this principle, um, scientific evidences are analyzed even today. Then we have Albert Osborn from 1858 to 1915. He developed the basic principle of document examination as a scientific evidences, and he is considered as a father of document examination. And the first QD examiner in India was Mr. C.R. Hardless. Then we have Dr. Con Lannister, 1901, discovered the blood grouping systems. Then we have Leon Lattice. Leon Lattice derived as a relatively simple procedure for determining blood groups, that is A, B, AB, or O, from a drop or from the blood stain. Even today it is in use.